Hello, friends, viewers, and people of all ages and ethnicities. Let me rephrase that. Ethnicity. Sorry, running. I had a band director. I had a band director that's called it ethnicities, and now that just kind of stuck in my head.
I
Hello,
love
people from
that.
across the world. Let's go with that.
All ethnicities. I think it should be changed to ethnicities. That's like the perfect intro. We're keeping that in. Keep going.
My name is Bjorvio, and alongside me is,
The Anime Dad.
and we would like to welcome you to the first episode of our new podcast.
Quite exciting, and it's great. It's great to be on a podcast with Chris Sabat. I think that's the main reason I jumped on. Chris is my idol, and I appreciate you, Chris. And you being with me is such a special thing. So thank you.
Oh, absolutely. But just to make sure, I'm going to need my cuts as soon as we get done with this. Otherwise, we're not producing this in any way, shape, or form.
Love it. So yeah, as Bjorvio just stated, we are. I don't know. It seems like we've known each other for a very, very long time, but we haven't. It's only been a month and a half or so, but we're really good
Yeah.
friends now. We seem like we got chemistry. We both have velvet voices, and we thought this would be the next the next logical step is talk about what we love together once a week on this podcast. And have we come up with it? We've finalized the name, right?
Yeah, I think we finalized the Anime Dudes podcast.
Love it. Anime dudes is actually the way to go. Yeah, no, I like it. And when I was growing up, dude was a word that was said quite regularly, so it resonates with me as a person. But yeah, Anime Dudes podcast is the way to go, and we're gonna have great social media coming up. It's basically a podcast for me and Bjorvio to talk about. Initially, it will be My Hero Academia. We're going to go through the arcs and talk about what we like, what we dislike, what we agree on, and what we disagree on. It's going to be a podcast where we have improv, a lot of fun, some laughs, and hopefully it'll be a little part of your week that'll get you to smile and enjoy this wonderful art form, which is anime, with us.
Basically, we're going to be doing what you and I already do. Now we're just going to put we're just going to record it. That's basically what it comes down to.
So true. And what you're going to hear some voices from Bjorvio. Now, listen to his incredible range of voices, and then I'll jump in with my range. So give us a demonstration of your voice.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Anime Dad podcast.
The Anime Dad podcast you are listening to.
Greetings and welcome to the Anime Dad podcast.
My name is Bjorvio, and it is an absolute pleasure to have you on here.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And this is my one voice. Hi, and welcome to the Anime Dude podcast. He said "Dad" a few times because that's my other podcast, but sounds similar, and
Force
I
of
like it.
habit.
I like Force of Habit. He's been on my podcast so many times. He's interviewed me recently. But yeah, that's his cool voices, and you're gonna hear my cool voice too. I'm gonna have some cool voices in here. I'm gonna create them as I go, some cool characters, and
Yeah, you are.
yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that together. Hi, my name is Mickey Mouse, and this is the Anime Dude podcast. See, gangster. I am
Wonderful! Love it!
that falsetto is what I could do regularly, and maybe I should do the podcast in this voice. What do you think? Do you think that'll work if I do the whole podcast in this voice?
I mean, if I totally can, if you can, I mean, I used to have to talk like this for several hours on end, so I think a 30-minute podcast should be nothing.
That's great. Yeah, and as Bjorvio's just said, it's going to be about 30 minutes. And we are both, just a bit of background about us. I am originally from South Africa, now in New Zealand, and an anime watcher all my life. Started with Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, and now it's getting up to Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, and Demon Slayer, and My Hero Academia. So my palette has changed quite a bit, from shonen to shonen. And well, what do you like? Introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Bjorvio. I'm a TikTok content creator by trade, but now I'm also here. I also really enjoy shonen anime. I started off with Dragon Ball Z, and Pokemon, and to this day, I'm still into Dragon Ball Z, and Pokemon. Obviously, thrown in a few more in there. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is probably the one I know the best. My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, and more to come very soon as I get caught up on these shows that I am, and I'm sure most of you are also consistently behind and never have enough time to fully be caught up on.
Agreed. With an anime list continually growing, it is definitely challenging to keep up. I'm going to admit something exclusively on this podcast, and I haven't watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood yet. I know.
All right, this has been Bjorvio on the Anime Dudes podcast. We're going back to just Anime Dad. We'll see you guys indefinitely. No, I'm just kidding.
We're done. Cut off the friendship. No, I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard so many incredible things, and I think I'm nervous to watch it too because I like so many. I don't know. I'm just nervous to let something else that intimate into my life. But I'm going to, and maybe that'll be an episode. I will, as a new anime watcher for Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, will be giving my opinions, and hopefully they're good. I'm sure they will be, and then we can have back and forth. But it'll be cool to get some debate as well, like something you love and something I slightly don't like. I think that'll be a fun addition to the podcast too.
Yeah, I think at one point I would like to have an interesting debate. Like, this is not related to My Hero, but I'm sure we'll come up with My Hero. But the best Super Saiyan form. Yes. My opinion is always different than the average person, so I want to dive into that and prove to you why I'm right and why you will soon be right.
Super Saiyan 4.
So, you know what? People knock on Super Saiyan 4. I actually like Super Saiyan 4. It's not that one. It's not my favorite. But it has its perks, but it also has its flaws.
Okay. I agree with that. So let's start the My Hero Academia section off with me saying Deku is just a crybaby in the first
season. I knew you were going to bring that up, and I have a defense for that.
Okay,
have a defense, and as someone who thought that 2 months ago, and I've since rewatched the entirety of the show since then, I realized something about Midoriya that I'd never realized before, and that is, put yourself in his shoes. The kid is 14 years old. He's hormonal already. He grew up in a world where he is wanting to be a profession that he cannot be. Not only that, 80% of the world has these unique abilities, and his is that he has none. And so that is the thing that's preventing him. He's not even alongside his peers. And so he wants to aspire for these dreams, and everyone tells him, no, you can't do it. You won't do it. Even his school bully says, if you want a quirk, you need to jump out of a window and hope you get one in the next life. So when you think of all of these things going for him, I'm like, yeah, I kind of understand why he cries all the time now. I mean, that might just be my opinion, but I see it now. At least season 1. I'm not justifying season 2 or 3. I'm saying season 1.
No, that is actually very, very true. And I'd love to go on a big defense about this, but you're right. His crying, I say, is his passion. He's so passionate as a person that when he does something or when he gets excited about something, he has to express it in some way, and it comes out of his eyes. Are you much of a crier?
Not really, not super often. No, if the situation comes up, I don't care who's around. They're gonna see me cry, but I'm not like, oh, it's Tuesday, haven't cried in 6 days, might as well do it now. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's just not me.
Yeah. No, I cry. I cry regularly. Maybe it's because I'm in a no, I wasn't going to say that. I cry regularly because I mean the first season. Did I cry? Yes.
Oh, I 100% cried in the
Where?
first season.
Where did you cry?
100% cried. And not only was it the first time I watch it, it's every freaking time that I watch it. And that is at the end of the season when All Might versus Nomu. I lose it every dang time.
That is actually so true. I get goosebumps just when you were talking about it there. I got goosebumps. But it's honestly just seeing him walk in there for the first time. Spoilers and as you guys listen to this, you know, if you haven't watched My Hero Academia, stop it now. Go back, watch My Hero Academia before jumping on here. But that's okay. If you haven't, that's fine. You'll still love it. All Might walks in there, pulls his tie off, and has an angry face on. I am here. What did he say? Did he say I am here?
Fear not, citizens. It's going to be okay. Because I am here.
Or something along those lines.
Love it. And he has an angry face on. And someone says, he's not smiling.
And it's the only time. Yeah, and it's the only time we see that, I think. Except maybe it's something that happens in season 3 that we'll get to later. But
And I also love another moment that brought me to tears was it was Deku obviously running to save Bakugo from the sludge villain, and you know is crying, grabbing, clawing at the sludge villain. All Might comes in, changes the weather with one punch, and knocks that guy. Is that guy dead, by the way? Is that villain dead? He must be dead.
nope, he's not.
Is in the manga? He's not dead. I haven't read the manga.
I will purposely not say anything.
Ooh, that's exciting to hear. Okay. Well, yeah, he changes the weather and he stands there with his hand up, which is my favorite pose of all time. And oh crap. That's the coolest pose ever, isn't it?
Yeah. I love All Might when he does that pose and just sticks his arm up in the air, just saying, I am victorious. I have won. And I also really love that moment at the end of the episode after Kachan's walked away and Deku turns around and I am here. I can lose reporters. And then that scene that you will see a million times in this season and in season 2 of young man, you too can become a hero. How many times in our life at least speaking from my experience, I would have loved to have been 14 years old and have someone say, young man, you too can become a hero and succeed in life. Like, if we all would have had, like, I understand why Deku's like grabbing his heart and just bawling. Like, I would have too at that age, honestly.
So true. And coming from your idol, coming from someone who means so much to you, it's basically if Chris Sabat said to me or you, young man, you too could become a voice actor or something like that.
I would black out and somehow still be crying and sweating, and it would just be this, oh gosh, what is he doing? You know, I take that back. You need to collect yourself first.
Oh my goodness, someone needs to do that artwork of Chris Sabat standing there with his hand out to you, and you sitting on the floor holding your heart. I think that would be an amazing artwork.
If they do, I will get that signed by him at some convention someday.
Heck to the yeah. All right, well, another negative. Let me bring out another negative. Season 1 has, what was that? Has horrible character development.
It does. Unless you're Aizawa or All Might, it really, especially for characters that become important later, like Ida and Bakugo. Todoroki's a completely different person. And also nitpicking, his season 1 costume looks stupid. I'm sorry. It just looks horrendous.
Agreed.
I don't know anyone that's like, that's my favorite version of Shoto. Like, if that's you, please leave that in the comments or something, because I need to know how many people think season 1 Shoto is best Shoto.
Agreed. I didn't even, to be honest, I didn't notice it the first time I was watching it, but then going back, I'm like, what the? Why does he have ice all over his one side with a red eye? Like, that's
He looks like Cyborg from Teen Titans.
He does. He does. I don't like it one bit. It doesn't. It makes him less handsome. That's part of his appeal. He's a handsome, good-looking boy, and having ice all over his face. And did they explain it in the manga why he has that?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
That's annoying. That's annoying. All right. Well, let's say, I mean, you've already spoken about one of your goosebump moments. What would be, let's say, the highlight of season 1 for you, other than the Nomu fight, and a low light of season 1 for you?
I would say, besides the absolute favorite moment of mine is,
You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus! Ultra!
like, that's just, you can't beat that. But outside of that is actually going to be that moment when, probably either when All Might says, no, you can't become a hero, or the moment where he goes, actually you can, you just have to put in a lot of work for it. Versus, I think my low point for season 1, I would say, is the exams where they get to use their quirk, because I'm sitting here the whole time like, how did Deku come in last place when, like, how did he beat Invisible Girl? You know, like, his quirk's more useful than that. How did he? Mineta really only did good at one event, and so did Midoriya. So how did Midoriya lose to him?
That
Like,
is
I don't know. I have so many
true.
questions.
Oh my goodness, I never thought of that before. He's a fitness freak who's been training with All Might as a personal trainer for such a long time, and he loses to a guy with pink purple balls on his head.
Right, and who's half his height. So during the running and I mean, all we see is Mineta doing the side to side thing, but other than that, none of them seem like his quirk would be all that useful.
That is a really, really good point. Okay, thank you. Well, one of my highlights, I'd say, is when Deku, All Might comes to the beach, Deku's on top of that mountain of trash, he falls off, All Might catches him, and said, "You did it, you exceeded my expectations." Holy, he says something strange, but that's a
Holy
goosebump.
frickin' super crap!
Yes, that's what he says. I love that moment, and to be honest, I haven't thought of lowlights. I don't like Bakugo telling Deku to jump off the roof and kill himself at all.
Right.
You know, Bakugo's character at that point was a bit. I didn't mind it, and he needed it. But I think that was a bit over the top. I wish Deku stood up for himself and showed a little bit of his character at that point, and maybe said something at least. Didn't have to fight him. Just said. Oh, he did say. Oh no, he didn't say it to him. He walked away and he said, "You don't tell someone to jump off the roof," you know. But that was a
Yeah.
low light for me. All right, well, let's get into a bit of improv to finish off. It's been about 25 minutes, I'd say. Let's get into some improv. Now, I'll be All Might. I'm just joking. You be All Might.
I'm not against hearing your All Might. There are plenty of characters in this show I can't do.
Okay, all right. I can. No, I'm trying to be Deku, but no, you be Deku this time. I'll be All Might. Your All Might's so good, but let me try and be All Might. You be Deku, and we are playing. We are playing a PlayStation game together, Super Smash Bros. Okay.
All right.
I got you there, young Midoriya.
Wow, All Might, I had no idea you could learn how to play these video games, but I just didn't expect you to have so much free time being a hero. But the other 5 rounds, I'm sorry that I whooped you so hard.
Your fingers are really teeny tiny, young Midoriya. Mine are giant. Maybe I should go into my little form for this, but I won't look as cool.
Oh, All Might, you look cool in just about anything you do, whether it's in your skinny form or your big form. I'm just grateful to be spending time with you and playing video games. And I feel like I'm learning so much, even though I'm really don't even. Yeah, I'm just learning so much. I just don't know what yet.
I do this in real life, young Midoriya. You see this next move? A front flip, and then a back flip, and then a punch to the mouth. That's what I can do in real life. I'll show you in our next training fight.
Wow, is that what you named the Utah Smash?
That was it, young man.
Wow, you did that that first appeared 7 years ago in the Battle of Hoshu City. I read it in All Might chapter 391.
You're being weird
You were
again.
amazing there, All Might.
You're being weird again. Stop mumbling, Deku. I'm sorry.
Sorry, sir.
I broke your controller and I got distracted by your mumbling. And now we have to go do some real training, and I'll smash you in the face for real.
Oh boy. Yes, sir.
Nice. Okay. Your deck is great. That was fun. I like that. All right. What's your improv scene? Give us a scene and let's do it.
All right. I would say I'll try and switch the characters up a little bit. Let's have Bakugo and Todoroki. Bakugo's already sitting at the lunch table, and Shoto just goes and sits next to him and just starts eating, and Bakugo just kind of looks at him. Do you want to be Bakugo or Shoto for this one?
Your Bakugo's too good. I'll be Shoto.
Okay.
All right.
Let me move the mic a little bit farther back there. There we go.
Okay, I'll walk over. Oh, hello, fireman. I'll just come sit next to you now.
You're the reject son of the number 2 hero, aren't you?
Did
I say you could sit there, you nerd?
I wouldn't call myself that. I define myself as an artist, not. I don't define myself as my father's son. I'd rather have you as my dad, if you could be.
You're not ever gonna call me daddy, you understand that? You're also not gonna sit at my table again. Go sit at the dang nerd's table with that one idiot Deku.
I do like Deku, but he does talk too much, and I don't feel like getting into a conversation about All Might again. I just want to talk about normal stuff.
Go do that over there. I'm sure there's some loser you can talk to.
What's your favorite?
Call up your dad or something. Just leave me out of it.
I don't even have his number. What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
We're not having this conversation right now, Icy Hot.
Mine is bubblegum. I really enjoy bubblegum flavored ice cream because it reminds me that I am a cold, icy man, and I still haven't used my fireside. As you can see from my one side of my body, it is full of ice because I'm trying to hide the shame of my father.
Who the heck cares? Nobody asked.
I asked myself, because growing up, no one asked me anything, and you sound actually quite like my dad, the way you talk to me, so I feel at home.
Huh? You're comparing me to the number 2 hero? That was a big mistake, Icy Hot. Compare me to All Might. No, I'm going to surpass even All Might. So if you think that you comparing me to your father's a compliment, you need to shut up and go somewhere else.
I will freeze you just like I did. That was good. I think we'll end there. That was cool. Your Bakugo is on point. And my South African Todoroki needs work, but that was fun. I can see him as a South African, actually, quiet. Can be arrogant now and again. I can say that because I'm South African. But
I could see him. I don't really see Endeavor, but I see Todoroki. Maybe he gets it from his mom's side.
Maybe he does. All right. Well, that's a good point to finish it. I think we've had a good pilot episode. And I think straight away we're going to get a few people who like it, who comment and who share and rate and send through your voice messages and maybe, oh, it's a good idea, send through your improv scenes. We'd love to get some improv scenes
Ooh.
from people and get Bjorvio to say stuff and get me to listen, because that's the way it's going to go with his talent. But what do you have to say to conclude, Bjorvio?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you do send us anything, let us know if you want us to use your name or not. I think by default we will not, like, if but if you want us to shout out, like, hey, this person from Philadelphia said blah 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 blah, include that. But if you don't want us to, the default is we're not going to. And just let us know if you want me to say anything in any of my voices. Obviously, more and more of the ones I can do will come out in the podcast. We might do something like that to kind of end it. But also we're gonna get a lot of we're gonna have some fun here. I think we're really gonna have some good conversation, as today has proven. I hope you guys enjoy it. Guys, what, I don't, it sounded like Goofy for a second. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Yeah, I don't know, sorry. Hope you guys enjoyed my weird mispronunciations and everything. But yeah, I had an absolute blast, and I can't wait to see what we're going to do in episode 2.
Oh, like it. All right, let's finish. You finish off with maybe say thank you for listening to the Anime Dudes in Shigaraki's voice, and then I will say it in my own voice.
Okay.
Thank you to all the villains that have tuned in today to listen to the Anime Dudes podcast. Now, if you would be so kind, leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff that you usually do after podcast. Otherwise, my decay will find you. Kuogiri's quite good at that, Oh,
that's good. That's real good. Thank you for being an anime dude.